from a position where my partner's kind of a bit more defensive, so he's not pushing me away. So realistically, the scenario that we were looking at earlier was when you've got like an opportune attack. So like, for example, I'm moving, he starts moving away, he kind of pushes the arm out to go, and then I'm kind of attacking the arm. So it'd be that kind of scenario. But a lot of the time when I'm in this position, you're going against somebody who's good, they're not going to leave their elbows away from their body, okay? So one of the main rules in Jiu-Jitsu is making sure that when you're in a defensive position, or even a lot of attacking positions, you want to keep the elbows as close as you can to the body. When I'm trying to attack, my objective is to try and bring the elbow away. His objective is to keep that close. Okay, so that's our like first little mini battle that we're going to be looking at here. So for me to push that elbow upwards is going to be quite difficult. Okay, but what I want to do is I want to try and push it across his body. It's going to be much easier for me to do, especially if I can get my weight behind it. So what I want to do from here is I'm always going to try and focus on the top hand. Okay, so typically when my partner's defending, he's always going to be crossing those hands, so it's harder for me to be able to get to the collar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my hand, look here, so I'm going to palm facing down, knuckles facing up, and I'm going to try and get my hand in on the inside from here. Okay, I'm going to reach all the way through. I'm going to control his elbow, look here, I'm going to reach through, okay, and cut the elbow. When I get to this position, look here, I'm going to pull the elbow across, and I'm going to use my chest, look here, to get behind his elbow. Okay, from here now I can start pushing the arm across, but I'm not pushing it this way, I'm pushing it upwards here. Okay, I'm using my body weight, look here, to keep the arm away. So now at this stage I've got his arm extended, okay, so that's half of the work done. Okay, at no stage now do I ever allow him to be able to bend his arm. Okay, so from this point onwards the arm's going to stay extended. Okay, as soon as I've brought that arm across I need to fill that gap. So I'm going to bring that knee, look here, higher, 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 and I'm using that to cut the angle. Okay, so from this position, in order for me to get the S mount, I need to start dealing with this arm as well now. So if you bring the hand in for now, Junior. No, so bring the hand in. No, so just bring it in tight. No. So here, just have it here for now, yeah, that's it. So from here, look here, so I'm leaning forward. Okay, so before I reach over to that hand, I'm going to posture up. Okay, and I'm using that to keep the arm extended. And then from here, look here, I can reach over and grab the elbow and lift. Okay, I'm using that to keep the elbows away so I can tuck my heel into position. And again, look here, arm stays extended at all times. Okay, my hips are directly behind the arm. Already you might be feeling the extension on the arm bar, so it's already quite straight here. Okay, for me to be able to finish, look here, I'm going to switch my arms. Okay, I can post on his knee or hand on the mat, and then from here I can start bringing my leg over the top. So remember, I want to try and make sure I angle my leg off, so when I slide over, I don't want to create all that space. So knee pinches in, look here, leg steps over the top, and now look here, knees pinching in again. I'm not like this. I'm here. And from here now, I can start moving the hand on the inside, falling back, arm stays extended at all times. Then I can connect with the wrist to finish. Okay, so one more time. So from here, okay, coming through from the wrist. Okay, coming in deep, controlling the back of the elbow, getting the purchase, moving it across, coming up that body. So getting my chest over the top of the arm, bringing the wrist above the shoulders. Knee comes up, extend, extend. I reach over, I pull the elbow, tucking my heel in. Okay, foot starts moving around. Okay, I switch my hands, keeping it extended still. Leg comes over the top, hand on the inside, and sitting back. So notice this is all one circular motion. Okay, I'm moving all the way around, so just imagine, okay, my head's kind of like at 12 o'clock here. And I come through, I control, here. Knee comes up, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, switch, leg comes over, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that's where I finish. Okay guys, any questions?
Just about what happens if you, because when you're bringing the arm across,
yes,
you're changing his head direction,
yes,
to turn away.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking
turning out.
What people might do is not get the head control because they're being too nice, and then
yes,
they go across the head. So can I see what
I've
happens?
got you.
If they
Yeah.
do that?
So the trick to that is don't be nice. So keep that weight forward, and I think that's a really important thing to bear in mind as well. Is like You know, at the end of the day, we're trying to control our opponent, we're trying to stop them from moving, and the only way that we can really do that is by making sure that we've got our weight down properly on them as well. So let me just do that again, I'll show you. So here, so look here, I'm here, boom. And my hips are right on top, so sorry Junior, it's not fun.
Because if you don't have that control, what can I just...
Well, if I'm here and I'm here, like firstly he can bring that elbow back again. So I'm using my hips, look here, to keep that elbow over here.
Yeah.
As soon as I take my weight away, he's just going to shrug that elbow back and we're back to where we started again. So it's really important that I keep my weight on top of that elbow. And again, I'm keeping it in 1 o'clock. I'm not bringing it to 3 o'clock here, because if I bring it to 3 o'clock, he's going to grab the arm, he's going to defend, and then now I'm in trouble again. So from the point of where I pull the arm up here, like I say, I'm trying to keep that arm away all the time. Look here. Yeah. Does that make sense? Cool. Any other questions, guys? Let's give it a go. 1, 2, go. Struggling with it? Speak up. No? Okay. So here. So 1, 2, 3. Pulling up. Getting myself into position. Posturing. So I was talking to Arthur and Yannick about this as well. So from this position, I don't necessarily need to switch. I could stay here as well, okay, and finish from here, especially if I've got good balance. Okay, so I'm just going to readjust from here. But sometimes when you first start doing this, you start losing balance. Okay, so this is why I was kind of advising to switch so you can post that hand to the mat as well. Okay, the other advantage of posting the hand to the mat in here and I'm switching the sides, it allows me to finish whilst on top. So what I want to do from here is I'm going to lean forward, put all the weight onto my hand, and then I can bring the shin over the top and drive my shin into the net to create space in order to hyperextend the arm. So it's the same position again. I'm leaning in, keeping the arm extended. Okay, and from here now, look here, shin comes over the top, and I'm using my shin, look here, to turn Junior's head away. And then I'm driving my hips in for the finish. Okay? Any questions? Let's give it a go. Let's go. 1, 2. Defending. Yeah, so typically if I'm isolating this side, okay, he'd be hiding that bottom arm. So what do I do from here? Okay, so rather than just disengaging completely or trying to come in from the crook of the elbow, which is going to be very, very difficult for me to do, I want to try and control from the furthest point of the lever. Okay? So when I'm in this position, okay, and he's kind of hiding that arm, he's tucking everything in, the first thing I'm going to do is get a bit more access to that. So how do I do that? I do that by controlling that far elbow and pulling it in towards me. Okay, by doing this, it exposes the wrist. What I want to do is I want to try and get the inside blade of my wrist on the inside blade of his wrist. Okay, and once I get to this position, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lean forward again. I'm going to lean forward, look here, and I'm going to extend the arm. Okay, much harder for me to do from the crook of the elbow here, because obviously his elbow's in the way here as well. And I don't want to fall back into this position here. So even though we get taught a lot of kind of arm bars from here, ideal scenario, if we're mount, try and get our control from there. So remember we were talking about it earlier. So when I'm in a dominant position where I've got control over him, then it's much better for me to try and get to my extension from there rather than when I sit back here. So even though I've got an element of control here, I haven't really got gravity on my side from this position. So going back to my S mount, okay, I want to try and get the arm extended before I fall back. So he's defending, look here, I pull that elbow in, okay, blade of the wrist on the blade of the wrist. Rather than pulling the arm up, I can bring myself forward towards the arm. Okay, if we've got the gi, look here, I'll pass the gi through as well. Post my hand to the floor, extend. Sorry, Dan. Okay, and then from here we can go shin over the top, or you can go leg over, coming in, sitting back for arm bar. Very, very tight from here. Remember, we want full extension before we sit back. Okay, guys? Obviously, we've got this switch from here as well. I would always try and go for that arm anyway and try and go for the wrist. But let's just say, for example, I can't get to that wrist. Then from here, we can start swimming inside, pulling. Again, I want to keep it extended first. We go back to mount, and I'm leaning forward again first. So when I do get into my position, it's always extended when I move over, rather than having to deal with the bent arm again, which gives me an opportunity to switch, and then I'm going to go through doing the same thing again. Does that make sense? Okay, so one more time. Ideally, I always will try and pick out that wrist if I can. Look here, connect, lean in, leg comes over or shin over the top. Okay, just for a bit of fun. Okay, we're going to come through. I'm going to pull on the outside here. I'm pulling the elbow and I'm keeping that wrist away so we can't bend the arm. If I control just from the crook of the elbow, I'm just going to switch the arms again. Look here, now we're back to where we started again. So whenever I pick out, look here, I'm pulling and controlling. Look here, back to mount. I'm doing the same position again. I'm coming across the body, weight on the top. Always extending out. Look here, lift, control, leg comes over or shin over the top. Okay guys, any questions? Let's go, we'll do.